name is Petroske, and this is my story. When I was growing up, I was what most people call a good little boy. I never really got into drinking, smoking, drugs, or any kind of trouble pretty much. But when I hit my mid to late teens, I started changing. I started being a lot more angry and a lot of bitterness and a lot of hatred inside. I wasn't really sure why, I just knew that it was there. I still did all the good little boy things on the outside, but on the inside it was emptiness. And then one night, me and a friend of mine were at a restaurant talking, and a waitress walked by, and she heard one of us mentioning church. So she said, "Hey guys, where do you go to church at?" So we told her, and she said, why don't you come to my church sometime? Why don't you come visit? I said, "No, thank you," but my friend's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go." So he started going and gave me a call, and he told me that I should really go to this church sometime. I should give it a try because it's so different. The sermons can actually be applied to everyday life, and you could actually use what the pastor was saying. The people were friendly, they were outgoing. It wasn't church as usual, it was different. So I said, "No thanks, whatever, just enjoy it." But eventually, after a couple times of asking me, I finally broke down and decided to go. So my first time walked through the front doors at Lehigh Valley Baptist Church, I noticed that so many people stuck their hand out and said, "Hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you." They were smiling, they were friendly, and I thought to myself, "You're a church, why are you so happy? It's not supposed to be like that." But in spite of that, or probably because of that, I kept on going. And then shortly after that, I started doing a Bible study with the guy. And through the Bible study, I learned a lot of things about salvation, but unfortunately, all the information stayed in my head and never really got down to my heart. So it never really had any kind of change or any kind of effect in my life. But a few months after that, it was after Wednesday evening service, I was talking to some friends in the parking lot, and I said, "So what's this salvation thing all about? How can I know if I'm really saved or not?" I was kind of hoping for just an nice easy checklist or a couple of yes or no questions or whatever, but what they told me was, "Well, why don't you talk to the pastor about it Sunday?" I thought to myself, wait a minute, this is Wednesday, that's Sunday, that's 4 days from now. I need to know right now. So they're like, "Nope, sorry." They hopped in their cars and drove home. So what else could I do? I got in my car and I drove home too. The whole time I was thinking, so if I have an accident and die, or if I have an accident at work and die, where am I going to be? I have no idea. So Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night before I went to bed, I prayed each night, "God, if I'm not saved, save me." The prayers had no effect, they were empty, but it's all I could do, so I did it. Then Sunday evening, in spite of 3 really close call accidents on the road, I got to church and started talking to the pastor. I realized a couple things. First thing I realized is that he's not a mean authority figure who wants to tell me how bad I'm living my life and how I'm so messed up. He actually has a heart of love, and he wanted to help me understand the Bible and help me understand salvation. Another thing I realized was that I knew what salvation was. I knew I had to be saved. I even knew how to be saved. But what I didn't know was that God would actually love me enough to want to die for me and spend eternity with me. I just couldn't grasp that. So the pastor opened the Bible and read a verse that said, "God's not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance." I knew that was talking to me. So what could I do at that point besides just break down and cry like a baby and ask God to forgive me for my selfishness, my anger, and my sin in general, and ask him to be my father and save my soul. So from then on, that was 15 years ago, and from then on, God's been more real and more loving and more amazing than I could ever imagine. He's not just a Sunday morning God anymore. Now he's my God and my Father, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.